Hi everybody, welcome back to the Bumpkin News. Today is October the 24th, 2011, and we want to talk a little bit about red light cameras. First, a little background. I used to think that anybody that got elected to public office was automatically more intelligent and more knowledgeable than I was, but I've awakened to the fact that this is not the case. A lot of politicians, they don't understand the U.S. Constitution, and many politicians could care less about the U.S. Constitution, and even some judges, I used to think that they would watch out for your rights, but I've since found out that this is not the case. The best defense that we have is to be informed, and when we know our rights, we have a great deal of power comes with that knowledge. So we're thinking about the red light cameras, and if you've never received a citation or some notice of violation of a red light, maybe you're not familiar with the way the process works. Here's pretty much how it goes. You get a letter in the mail with a picture of your automobile and the license plate from the rear, informing you that your automobile has, a lot of times they'll say, has allegedly violated a red light, and that you are to send in a payment. And if you were not the driver, then you have to file an affidavit stating who was the driver. And if you want to contest it, then your hearing is before the officer that issued and approved the citation that you received. And if you want to appear at that hearing, then ahead of time you have to send in the amount of the fine, so that if you are adjudged indeed to be responsible for that violation, they already have your money. And that's pretty much the gist of it, the way it normally works. And this is fraught with all kinds of constitutional violations of your rights. And right here, let me say that when we don't regard the Constitution, which is the case all over the United States right now, in so many different ways, we are beginning to descend into anarchy. A lot of people will say, well, just pay the fine and forget it. That's a pretty simplistic view. If your local government will not abide by the law, then what's the use of the law? I got a stick that's bigger than yours is, so I can club you over the head and take your wife, your possessions, whatever. I mean, let's get some caves going, and whoever's biggest and baddest and got the biggest tribe, let's descend into a primeval, some sort of a Neanderthal type community here, and let's do it that way instead of having laws. The law is to protect us all, and that's what puts us on an equal footing, is the law. The red light camera system is nothing more than a conduit directly into your local treasury. It bypasses the court, it bypasses the legal system. It doesn't denies you your day in court, and that way the money can go directly from your wallet right into the your city's coffers, financial coffers. No muss, no fuss. Everything's pretty simple and straightforward. But let me talk about some problems with this that we have. A red light offense is a criminal offense. Oh, and by the way, let me state right here that I'm not dispensing any legal advice, simply my opinions. If you want any legal advice on any legal matter, please consult an attorney. But it's my opinions, and that opinion is that a red light offense is a criminal offense, and that is because there could be many serious issues that could arise from a violation of a red light. You could all the way up to kill somebody and destroy a great deal of property by running a red light. So this is a serious offense, a moving traffic offense. It's a criminal offense, and the U.S. Constitution says that in a criminal offense, when we're accused of that, we have some rights. One of those rights is we have the right to be represented by an attorney. We have the right to confront our accuser. We have the right to a speedy trial. And these rights are violated with this process that we just described to you. You don't have the right to face your accuser because your accuser is a camera. You don't have anybody that can say, I saw this man or this woman run this traffic light, Your Honor. You don't get that benefit. Another right that is violated is your right to not be compelled to testify against yourself, which sending in an affidavit of who was the driver, you don't have to do anything. The government is responsible for proving you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So you can say bye-bye to that right. To be represented by an attorney, you could do that, have him file the appeal or notify your local municipality that you're not going to participate in this sham, this mockery of the legal process. You could do that, but if you go strictly by their procedure outlined, the attorney is not involved that way. So all those rights are violated. Now, as far as filing this affidavit, here's an interesting point. Let's say your wife was driving the vehicle and you were a passenger, and you filed an affidavit, I wasn't driving, my wife was. That is another violation of your Fifth Amendment rights, because in many states you cannot be compelled to testify against your spouse because, and this is a carryover from Christian principles. If you're up on your Bible terminology, they twain shall be one flesh, and the law recognizes a man and a woman to be one, to be unified into one, and so you can't testify against yourself. So there again, if your wife was driving and they said that either you produce who was driving or you're guilty, this is a violation of the law, because if they say that you're guilty, you weren't guilty, and you don't have to name your wife as a guilty party. So there again, we have another problem with it. There's all kinds of reasons why that you may not be the driver. Somebody at work, a co-worker borrowed your car to go get some lunch, ran a red light, didn't realize it, and you get the bill. And here's an interesting another observation on this. They say that this is sufficient evidence to prove your guilt. Well, what if a pedestrian was in a crosswalk and they were hit and killed, and let's say a co-worker or somebody who borrowed your car did not realize that that they even hit this person? Maybe it was dark, this person was dressed in black. At the time that it happened, they simultaneously hit a bump or something, and they didn't know that they killed somebody. Now, you would be adjudged guilty of negligent vehicular manslaughter or some serious charge, along with running a red light, because the camera says, according to their theory, that you did it. So you see, we definitely need the legal process, the legitimate legal process in these cases. Now, the way that they try to get around this is they say that this is a civil offense, and there's not anything like that. I mean, I don't know where they dig up these legal theories at, but a civil infraction or a civil responsibility is something where there's some damage, and let's say you throw a baseball through my window, I can sue you to recover the losses from that, unless it was malicious destruction. That's a criminal matter. But if it was an accident, you did that, or you were, let's say you were cutting your lawn and you happened to get on the phone and got distracted or something and came across and cut my garden hose up, civil matter here. I sue you for damages. And as you recall, in the case of O.J. Simpson, he was found not guilty of a criminal offense, but he was judged responsible in a civil suit. So if you are alleged to have run a red light and it's a civil offense, then you have the right to be before a judge in a court of law and a jury to find out if indeed you are responsible for what. For what damages did your city suffer? Where is the complaint? If it's, well, you violated an ordinance, what is that ordinance? It's a criminal ordinance, and you can't be held, there's no civil damages there to a criminal complaint. The criminal complaint has its own structure of fines and punishment. Now, you know, it's said, well, this is a safety thing. This is not something just to generate money. We look on that with a huge skepticism. You want to know if they're serious about stopping red light violations. You know, one thing that they could do is to institute, when you are observed by a police officer violating a red light, it's an automatic, no questions asked, 3 days in jail and a $500 fine. That would bring an abrupt halt to people running red lights. I have had some red light citations sent to me, and I have paid some and not paid some, and there were some follow-up letters, but I simply asked them to send me the information or the proof that in fact I was the person that did indeed drive the vehicle through a red light, and there was never any proof or any kind of court hearing or anything before a judge or anything like that, and they just disappeared. But again, as I say, you use your own judgment, consult a lawyer for any legal advice, and let me know what you think.